Hey there guys, it's Tina and I am back, and today we actually have a foundation wear test. I know. When was the last time I did a foundation review and wear test? Probably years at this time, to be honest. Yeah, if I think back, I can't remember the last time I did a foundation wear test. I mean, I did film one for the Bounce foundation from Beauty Blender, and I scrapped it because I took so long to actually do like the final wrap up and the introduction that I'm like, forget it, I'm not even gonna do it anymore. So if you want to see like more foundation reviews from me, definitely let me know. I have quite a few in my collection. I'm not necessarily gonna go out and buy new ones, but if there's a foundation that you're curious about, let me know and I can probably do a wear test for you guys. Yeah, let's get into those things. So today, we are reviewing the new foundation from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way Matte. I was intrigued, okay? So it says 24-hour undetectable super long wear, and I was like, let me find out. So I have a few Too Faced foundations that I've really enjoyed. So the Peach Perfect foundation I actually really like, and I also like the Born This Way. I don't love it, but I liked it enough. So I said, let me go ahead and try out this Born This Way matte since I have oily skin. So it's like, all right, this is gonna work out. If it's matte, it's for me. I love a matte finish. I know not everybody loves a matte finish, but I am here for it. So I grabbed this guy during the Sephora welcome back sale, and I'm testing it out for you guys today. So we're gonna go through my application. I'm gonna walk you through how it feels on the skin. Then we're gonna do check-ins throughout the day. So I'm gonna show you in studio lighting, which it's really not studio lighting, okay? It's just lighting that I use for my videos. I don't have soft boxes and all this stuff, okay? I have a ring light, but is it really that much of a difference? I don't think so, but whatever, here we go, alright? So I'm gonna show you the finish in this lighting, then we're gonna see in natural sunlight, oh yeah, and then we're gonna do check-ins and my final thoughts and wrap up. So if you are interested in hearing my thoughts and seeing a wear test for the new Born This Way foundation matte from Too Faced, then stay tuned and I will talk to you soon. Alright guys, so as usual we're starting off with a clean, freshly washed face, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply my moisturizer so that can have time to sit and set into my skin. So I'm using the Fenty Skin Fat Water Pore Refining Toner Serum just to help prep and hydrate my skin. This is my first step to moisturizing my skin. I really love toners and essences for my oily skin. They leave a moisturized finish to my skin without being too creamy or tacky or heavy. They're not emollient at all, so my skin doesn't feel greasy at the end of the day. And I let that sit on my skin for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna go in with my moisturizer. This is the Tata Harper Clarifying Moisturizer, which is balancing for blemish prone skin. I just got a little bit of that between my hands. I don't want too much because I don't want to overhydrate my skin, because then we can get a greasy mess at the end. But I've been getting a few breakouts, and I think it is from my hair products. So I've been wearing my hair curly for the last few months, and I've been putting like moisturizers and leave-in conditioners and gels and all those things in your hair as you do to keep it all curly and juicy and moisturized, and I think it's breaking me out. So along my hairline, at the back of my ears, like right at the base of my neck, like I'm getting little pimples. So I decided to grab this moisturizer to see if it helps anything. So we're gonna go ahead and allow all of that to set on my skin and absorb, and I will fill in my brows and apply my eyeshadow primer while you guys hear a little bit more about this foundation. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Matte 24-hour undetectable super longwear foundation. It says it's oil-free, oil-controlling, waterproof, and transfer resistant. This oil-free 24-hour matte foundation masterfully diffuses the line between makeup and skin. Our matte formula stays completely color true while covering imperfections to reveal the all-day shine-free look of naturally flawless skin. Lightweight wear and coverage so undetectable they'll think you were born this way. It is infused with coconut water, which aids in delicately replenishing skin's moisture levels, alpine rose, which helps power the skin's health and resilience, and hyaluronic acid, which gives a smoother, more youthful appearance. In a 1-week study of 107 women, 96% said this foundation feels weightless on the skin. 99% said this foundation blurs away imperfections. 93% said this foundation provides undetectable coverage. And 92% said this foundation does not require touch-ups. This foundation comes in a frosted glass bottle with a black cap and a rim of gold that says Too Faced. It does have a pump as well, so that is always a bonus. On the bottom you'll have the shade name, and the usage life here says 24 months, which is pretty decent. That's 2 years that you're getting out of a liquid foundation. This foundation retails for $40 and it contains the usual 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of product. That's the typical size for foundations on the market, and there are 35 shades available. I got the shade Caramel, which is a rich tan with neutral undertones. And you can see on my skin, this is almost a perfect match. I'm using my Koyudo Fupa brush for this application. I always apply my foundation with a brush. I never use a sponge, so I'm not gonna change that right now, right? So this side of my face I have nothing on. This side I have foundation. So far this feels very lightweight. I don't feel like I have anything on my skin right now, which is great. And I did about, I would say, 1 pump of this foundation. You can see that the texture is just a normal liquid foundation. It's not a thick liquid. It does still move, but it's not very runny. And I don't detect, well, I detect a slight smell, but it doesn't smell like fragrance. It just smells like typical foundation. So I'm just gonna buff this into my skin. The issue that I may have with this is that it's a little bit lighter, and when I use lighter foundations with a neutral undertone, they can come off a little bit gray on my skin. So I'm gonna make sure that I blend it down. But I got this shade because the next couple of shades after this had golden undertones or rosy undertones, and they were just never gonna match my undertone itself. And then the next shade, Maple, which has neutral undertones, was just a little bit too deep, too rich for my skin tone, which is a good thing because there are quite a few shades after my shade that will suit deeper, richer skin tones. It doesn't run extremely deep, but I think they have a decent shade range with various undertones to choose from. What I'm gonna do is blend this into my skin. It feels lightweight still, like I'm not feeling a heavy weight on my skin, and I'm getting more of a medium coverage. It doesn't look heavy duty full coverage, like it's not blanking out my skin at all, but it's given me pretty decent coverage. It's covered up some of my hyperpigmentation, some of my discoloration, and I think so far it looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna apply a little bit of concealer under my eyes because that didn't give me full coverage, plus I don't really pull foundation all the way under my eyes to help cover my darkness. So I'm just using my Pat McGrath Sublime Perfection Concealer in the shade M21. And let's use a little bit of lip balm. This is from Becca. It is one of their plumping lip balms, and the shade is Spray. It's the Hydra Light Lip Balms. And I'll just blend out that concealer with my FO2 foundation brush from Chikuhodo. This is from their Silver Fox series. I just did a video showcasing this entire series, so I'll link it over here so you can check it out. And this brush is just so perfect for me for concealer. It's meant for foundation, but I use it for concealer, and it really should be used with powder products, but I'm a rebel. I do what I feel like. I am not gonna apply powder to my skin, I don't think, because I want to see what this foundation does. It doesn't look bad at all. Like the color, even though it's lighter, it doesn't look crazy on my skin. What do you guys think? It does require some extra blending, like some extra tender care when it comes to blending to make sure it doesn't look draggy on the skin, because even though I don't have dry skin, I found like the foundation was dragging in certain areas, so I just had to go in and make sure that I completely buffed and blended it out. But it looks pretty nice. It gives me a very natural finish. It said it was gonna be matte, but this is very natural for me. So that's why I don't want to go in with powder, because if it's gonna be a natural finish, then I want to see what it does on its own. But I do want to go in and powder under my eyes just a little bit. Let me see if I want to do that. Let me just tap this out and figure it out. Alright, I decided I'm just gonna go in with a light wash of powder, and I'm using a squirrel hairbrush. So this is just gonna give me a very light wash. So I'm applying that over my lids because very oily, and then just very lightly sweep it under my eyes to set that concealer. Since that is not a part of the foundation, that shouldn't be a big deal, right? You know what? I'm gonna just tap a little bit of that right around my nose and in my T-zone, but I'm gonna leave everything else as is. I'm gonna apply mascara and let this sit a little bit more to see if it oxidizes or changes color, deepens up a little bit, because that's kind of what I want, but we'll see. I'll be right back. Alright, so here is everything all done. I didn't put on blush, bronzer, or any of that. Alright, there's no powder on my face apart from where you saw me apply it. I just did mascara, and that is it. I think the color match looks great. I would not go deeper than this, because again, you know, it's the summertime and this is probably as dark as I'll get, so this is gonna match me more when my skin lightens up. But also, I think that it warms up with my skin, and as I wear it, it will warm up because I have oily skin. And I like the color, I like the coverage. Everything looks great so far. It doesn't look dry or too matte, and it looks decent on my skin. I wouldn't say it's perfect. It doesn't look great. It's not my favorite finish of a foundation. Like, it just looks okay. It evened out my skin. It looks pretty enough. So we're gonna see. We're gonna let my oils work with this foundation and see what result we come up with. And currently it is 1:16, so we're gonna wear this throughout the day. I'm gonna show you how it looks in sunlight, natural sunlight, and then we'll do a little bit of a wear test and I'll report back in a couple of hours. Alright guys, so it is now about 3 o'clock, so we're a little under 2 hours of wear time, and I am outside in the car so you can see my skin in natural daylight. I am using my iPhone camera, but I'm gonna switch to another camera in a second so you can get a different quality, a different version, so you can see if my skin changes at all. You know, iPhone cameras aren't the best, but I figured I'd show you my skin in true lighting, natural lighting with the iPhone camera. And any flaws, you're gonna see them now, okay? So you'll see my skin, you can see the texture. So to me, the foundation isn't really living up to the claims with the hyaluronic acid plumping the skin and making it seem smoother, because my skin doesn't look smoother. I would have to use a primer to fill in like my pores around my nose and like in my forehead, you see? So I don't like the finish of this foundation. I don't think it's the best finish. It's not the most flattering finish, but it does have nice coverage. And so far, considering that I haven't powdered my skin, I'm staying pretty matte, or pretty like natural skin. Listen, my skin has warmed up a bit, so I'm not like flat matte, but it looks pretty skin-like. No oiliness has... Alright, my nose is a little oily, but like, it is holding up as far as wear time, but the texture is not my favorite. So let's switch over to the other camera to show you a different version of how this looks. Alright guys, so here's the other camera, and you'll see that my skin just looks okay. It doesn't look spectacular. It's not the best foundation I've ever worn. It's not a foundation that gives me the most beautiful finish at all, but it's not looking really terrible either. So far so good. I'm enjoying the wear. The color has warmed up a bit because again, my skin has warmed up. Some of my oils are popping out. Let's see. Can you see more of the texture, more of the oils in my skin? Yes, it's very hot. It's like 80 something degrees. So it's very warm outside, and I don't have the AC on in the car, so you know. But yeah, the foundation looks okay. It just looks okay. There's nothing spectacular about it so far. So let's go ahead and continue on with the rest of the wear test. Alright guys, check-in time. So it is 7:10. So I've had this makeup on for about 6 hours now. A little over 6 hours because I had it on before 1 p.m. But here you have it. So what do you guys think? Looking at my skin, skin, it definitely does not look matte anymore. It looks more glowy than it was because my natural oils have broken throughout the day, and it's been a hot day and I've been working. I was outside too, so I definitely not put it through the ringer, but I definitely gave this foundation a little bit of work to do, okay? So I think it looks pretty good considering 6 hours. Usually I'm like a greasy hot mess. Remember now, the only powder that I applied was under my eyes and a little bit around my T-zone area, but all over I didn't powder, and I haven't blotted throughout the day. I was tempted. I was so tempted, but I didn't. So this is without blotting and without setting powder, and I think I'll show you the up close. I don't think this looks bad at all. Like in my forehead, there's no separation. Like I can't see the foundation breaking up. Around my nose is usually a problem area where I can see pigment. I can't see anything, and I'm using my magnified mirror, so I am not seeing anything but some additional glowing. And on my cheeks, under my eyes, looks definitely drier because that's the normal part of my skin. But I mean, overall, this just looks lived in. It doesn't look like really bad greasy makeup at all. And if I blotted and powdered, I think I could refresh it and definitely look better. You tell me, because what I'm gonna do is blot, powder, and do the introduction of this video. So you tell me how it looks. So I'm actually done. I'm not gonna do any further check-ins because I think this is sufficient time to see what my skin will look like throughout wear. Now it does say 24-hour wear, which I'm not gonna do that. I don't know who told Too Faced I don't need that much time. No, I'm good. So usually with foundations like this, I will know what it's gonna look like by the end of the day by this time, like 6 hours in. And this is showing me that, yeah, I'm a little greasy, I'm a little shiny, but if the foundation hasn't settled into lines or broken up, I think that's a good sign. So all I'm gonna do is blot and powder my skin, and I'll show you what that looks like. I mean, typically with my oily skin, I do have to freshen up throughout the day. It just comes with the territory, okay? And that is expected. And usually if my makeup looks like this, I'm happy by this time of the day. So let's do some blotting and powdering and see what happens. So to blot, I'm not even gonna get fancy. I literally have a piece of paper towel. So I'm just gonna press that against my skin, not moving around too much. I'm literally just pressing it into my skin, and it didn't lift any of the well, it has a little bit of tint, but it's not lifting the foundation off my skin. And I'll do the same to my cheek area and around my nose, and I try not to move my foundation around. Can you even hear me? I try not to move the foundation around. I'm literally just trying to pick up the excess oil off my skin. And this actually looks pretty good. Look at this. It looks great now, right? It almost looks like I just applied it. Look at that. That is actually pretty good, just blotting. So I could probably just blot and not even powder. Let me see. What? Like originally when I started out, I wasn't feeling this foundation because I didn't like how the finish looked. It looked a little like powdery. It looked like foundation on my skin, like up close, but remember I have like a 10 times zoom mirror, so I'm seeing all my sins, okay? But from a distance, this doesn't look like makeup. I can't see any lines, like I can't see any differentiation of my neck and my face, right? So this, it looks pretty good. Should we try to powder it anyway, just to see what it would look like with powder, since we didn't powder before? Let's do that. I'm gonna use my Urban Decay Stay Naked The Fix in 60 NN and a squirrel hair brush. I know people are like, oh my god, squirrel hair, setting your face, you're oily, it's gonna get into... Listen, I did not spend that much money on these brushes to not use them, so I'm gonna use them, and if they get a little damage because of the oil in my skin, then so be it, but I'm not gonna restrict myself, child. So, light powder. With squirrel hair brushes, they're great for applying just a sweep of powder. It's not gonna cake your skin. It's not gonna look like, oh my god, where's she going, like a cake batter? And, listen, this makeup, it just refreshed so well. Look at this. Look at this foundation. Excuse me. Alright now, alright Too Faced, you've made some points. I'm okay with this. I am okay with this. Does it live up to the claims of 24-hour wear? I don't know because I'm not going to test that, but it wore pretty decent and I think it would last a few more hours with just my touch-up. Is it oil-free? Yes, it is based on the ingredients. Oil controlling? I wouldn't say it's oil controlling, but it did absolutely help to minimize my oils. My oils would be much more severe with other foundations, so I think it does have some oil control properties to it, but it's not like really great. Waterproof? I did not get wet, but you know, good for it. Transfer resistant. It is not completely transfer resistant because when I did blot, a little bit of it came off, but I haven't gotten any on my clothes, which is a good thing. I wouldn't go rubbing my face on anything, honestly, but it's a little bit transfer resistant, not transfer proof. The other claims here say blurs away imperfections. I wouldn't necessarily say that. This didn't come off as blurring to me at all. In natural daylight, I could see my pores, okay? So I wouldn't say this is blurring. You would definitely have to use a blurring primer to get that effect. So I don't agree with that one. The next claim is weightless on skin. And I do agree, this feels very lightweight. It was very surprising actually because it's a thicker liquid. So I felt like, ooh, it's gonna be a little heavy. No, it's not. And with the full coverage to this foundation, yeah, it didn't feel heavy at all on my skin, so I do agree with that weightlessness on the skin. I hate feeling foundation, and having not worn foundation for like weeks at a time now, it was very refreshing not to actually feel the foundation. So that, yes, agree. Then it says undetectable coverage. Yes and no, because I can't really see it. Once you blend it in, and you do have to blend it in, I can't see foundation on my skin. I don't see the coverage, but the color is a little bit off for me right now. And with my shade match being a little bit off, like this is not my perfect skin tone match, I still can't really see it on my skin. So I'll go with that. Like, yeah, I mostly agree with that. Then it says does not require touch-ups. Excuse me. Yeah, you do. I have oily skin, and you saw me. I had to touch up just now. So, you know, that claim I disagree with, so 2 out of 4, it's fine, it's fine. The hyaluronic acid, I did not see a smoother, more youthful appearance. The Alpine Rose, I don't know how that's gonna work. And then the coconut water, again, don't know. Now, if you have issues with coconut water, maybe just stay away from this because I know some people have issues, they have reactions, they have breakouts. If this breaks me out, I'll be highly upset. But so far, so good. So overall, I actually like this foundation. Am I in love with it? No, but I will definitely use it again. Would I buy it again based on everything that I know about it now? I don't know that I necessarily would, but I won't kick it out of bed that I already have it, because if it was terrible, I would just return it, honestly. But I do like it enough to keep it, so what I'll probably do is mix it in with other foundations where I like the finish a little better. And that way I can kind of get the best of both worlds, because I think this is definitely long wearing. It refreshes really well. It is not a full dry matte, so the finish looks pretty natural, even though it may look a little bit drier than like a really hydrating foundation. So if you have dry skin, I wouldn't recommend this. Even normal skin, be a little bit careful unless you like a matte look. And if you have combination oily, I think this may be a good find for you if you can find a good shade. And even though I don't completely love the finish of this, I think a little bit has to do with the color match. So if I got a deeper color that was a little richer in tone, it may look even better on my skin. But I can always tweak it by mixing it with another foundation. Plus, at the end of the day, I'm probably gonna use primer, I'm gonna use other powders and bronzer and blush and highlight to bring everything together. So this is actually gonna look better with other products mixed in, you know what I mean? So I do think this is a pretty decent foundation. Would I recommend it right out the gate because it's so impressive? No. Do I think you would hate it if you like a matte foundation and you have oilier combination skin? No. If you have dry skin or normal skin, I would say this is probably not for you unless you're gonna really hydrate your skin and you like a matte finish. But all in all, it's not terrible. So it's up to you. Do you want to try it out? Probably get a are they giving samples anymore? I don't even know. It's not a foundation that I would say run out and get, but if you were truly curious, I don't think it is a bad one. So I'm gonna give it a 3 stars out of 5 for me. And yeah, those are my final thoughts. Let me know if you've tried this out. What do you think? Do you want to try it out? Are you interested? Let me know all of that down below. I will leave links on where you can pick this up from Sephora and Ulta, and those links are going to be affiliate links. They'll have an asterisk next to them. That means I will get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through my link. No pressure here. If you don't feel comfortable, just shop the way you normally shop. No muss, no fuss. But if you do shop through my links, thank you so much. It does help me to put right back into the channel, and it's a great way to show your appreciation. And I do appreciate you using my links. So thank you so much for the support. And if you do like this video, hey, thumbs up, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. That also helps me out. And I will also leave links to my unapologetic, not politically correct Instagram and Twitter pages where you can follow me along. Fair warning. And that's it. Until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.